This is another episode of Who Farted with Doc and the Mexalorian. Two dudes just talking about whatever. In today's episode, Doc and Mex talk about podcasts. They talk about podcasts they like, they don't like, and this whole podcasting experience. We hope you enjoy the show. All right.
What's going on?
So, yeah, what's going on, man? Like, what have you been up to since we last recorded?
Just hanging out. I don't know if I told you, but I got a promotion at my job.
Oh, sweet, dude.
So I'm just doing more work, more pay.
More pay's good.
Yeah, so it's cool for a little bit. How about you?
Nothing. Like nothing, man.
Nothing.
Oh yeah, you know how I was playing Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna play Majora's Mask anymore.
What happened?
It's fucking pissing me off.
It's true.
Because so like I said before, when I play a video game, I like to relax.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a way for me to relax. I don't want to play something super hard that's going to, I don't mind being challenged. That's fine. But challenge me in something that is like a puzzle or maybe even a boss that might be a little more difficult than the others, but don't challenge me in a fucking horse race that I have to win in order for me to carry on with the game.
Yeah, that should be some side challenge thing.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
But in order for me to continue on, like according to what I figured out, like I think that I had to have this certain mask in order for me to go on through the story. Mm-hmm. And then after that, after having to do this stupid fucking race for, I don't know, I think it took me like 30 minutes. I'm probably exaggerating because I was pissed off, but it took me a long time. Then after that, I get to the next part. And then now I have to do some other thing that's pissing me off. I'm like, I just got done being pissed off. And now you're pissing me off again with more bullshit. Like I can't get past this part. And the room for error is minuscule. And I hate that. Like, give me some flexibility. Like with Breath of the Wild, there's flexibility. There are difficult tasks that you have to perform, but if there is, then you could kind of like go back, get away from that, and you can go do other things to kind of like, build up your strength or your weapons or your skill, and then go back and try to, tangle with that beast or whatever, So, or the puzzle, the puzzles have, in Breath of the Wild, the puzzles have multiple ways of beating them. So,
okay,
Breath of the Wild is a great game. So, but Majora's Mask is just pissing me off. And have you ever played Dead Space?
No.
Okay,
I've seen my friend play it.
The first Dead Space, I ended up getting it. My wife was like, "Oh, this is a great game. Oh, I'd like to watch you play it," because she's too scared to play it, but she wants to watch me play it. So I'm playing it, and it's great. You're trying to kill these aliens and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they throw in fucking asteroids. Like there's this one, almost like it's a mini game of where you have to shoot these asteroids that are coming straight at the ship. If you don't shoot them, the ship gets destroyed. Wow. So it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
You cannot progress any further in the game if you don't do it, if you don't beat these asteroids. And I'm just like, it took me out of it. I haven't played the game since we bought it. Like I played it for a couple days, and then I got to the asteroid and I'm like, no, fuck this. I'm done. I haven't even haven't even hooked up the place. It's on the PlayStation 3. I haven't even hooked it up since then. I'm just, I rage quit, I guess, is what I'm too old to rage quit, and
that's annoying.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I'm done. Throw my hands up. I'm gonna go.
Especially if it's just like, maybe, I don't know if in that game you could like upgrade the gun that you're using or whatnot. But if you could go back, okay, I was gonna say if you could go back like in Breath of the Wild and just upgrade it a little more and then be better or something, then that's better. But it doesn't sound too fun.
No, there's no way around it.
I've only seen because my friend streamed it for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I watched him play, but I'm not scared. I just don't want to play a game to be scared. So it's just like, because like you said, you play to relax, and it's cool. Like, because I watch movies to be scared. Like sometimes,
like,
I watch scary movies, like knowing like, okay, I'm gonna go in there. Hopefully, it scares me. Hopefully, because that's part of the fun. But I want to play a game to just kill people, not to like walk around a corner and then an alien jump out at me. Or something, because I really don't. I don't remember too much of the game, but I don't play it for that.
You don't like Resident Evil or?
No, I never played them. Well, I played like the arcade ones, but I never liked them when I played those. So I just never played the console versions or PC.
Are you talking about like House of the Dead, where you just shoot the zombies?
Yeah, more than likely, because it's just like you don't move; it just moves you as you shoot them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's House of the Dead. Yeah, that's an old school game, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, like I've been it's baseball season, so they were locked out for a while.
As you know, I love the Dodgers, but I don't
fuck
watch all that much. You know what? This fucking thing is done.
We're done. We're over. No, we're not no,
that's fine. I barely watch. I know. Represent.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I'm a lifelong Giants fan, and I've been into baseball for since I was a little kid. That my dad introduced me to it, and I remember going to games and at Candlestick, and
just about me too. It's just I felt because I played.
Yeah, I know.
But then like
kind of got out of it after you stopped playing, right?
Yeah, just like once high school was done for me and I stopped playing, it was just
Yeah.
I didn't care to watch too much. Like I'll go. Like I'd prefer to go to the game, have fun, like have a hot dog, pizza, fucking get a beer now or something like that. Fucking vibe. I don't want to watch it at home as much as I want to do that,
Yeah, well, because there's other things you'd rather be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's why I like to listen to it. I like to listen to the baseball game. I mean, a lot of times I'll listen to it at work. Or I really don't watch many baseball games. It's mostly just listening.
Yeah, and I did watch the World Series when the Dodgers did win a few years back. But
when they had their little COVID World Series.
You know what? Everyone, fuck that, because I heard why people were bitching. Oh, they just played half the games. Everyone else fucking did.
Yeah,
everyone else did. So if your team won, you would have been happy too. Shit it.
No, I would have been disappointed. Because I mean, what the Giants won 3 World Series, and they won in 2010, 2012, 2014. They won those 3 World Series, and then. If they won a COVID World Series, it would have felt kind of cheap. So I'm just saying.
Let's get back to the fucking topic.
But I will say this: if my team hadn't won a World Series since the last century,
let's get back to the fucking topic at hand.
No, what? I'm just saying. I mean, I am glad that the Dodgers finally won a World Series, because the only way that you're going to be able to see the Dodgers World Series highlights would be if you had a VHS player. So, because they didn't have DVDs of the 80s. So, yeah.
My dad still has that one, I'm sure, because it was the year that I think they got married. My parents got married.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, well, quite a celebration then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, you're saying get to the topic at hand, because you don't want to talk about baseball anymore.
You don't.
It doesn't matter.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
The Dodgers are a great team, and they're gonna probably kick our ass this year. So, yeah, I mean, we won the most games last year, but we didn't beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. We ended up getting, kicked out by the Dodgers. So,
see,
yeah, but I am glad that the Braves won. I got a friend that's a Braves fan, and I'm super happy that they beat the Dodgers. So, I don't know.
What about your friend that's a Dodgers fan? What the fuck is this shit?
Huh?
So what about your friend that's a Dodgers fan?
Oh, well, yeah, but they won their World Series last year.
Oh, okay.
The Braves haven't won since the 90s.
Oh, so, okay. Now they won the World Series.
Now that they won the World Series, fuck them. So give somebody else a chance. Like the Pirates or the Padres. I don't think the Padres have ever won a World Series. So, and they've been around for a long time.
The Pirates?
The Pirates have won World Series, but it's been like a long time. I think it was like the 70s or something like that. I don't know. Baseball's been around for so long, and I know that people are probably bored listening to this because they're like, I don't give a fuck about baseball. But I do. I love baseball. But yeah, I was thinking about getting a tattoo on my arm that has the Giants logo, and then like right above it an FTD for fuck the Dodgers. So, represent. Yeah. So anyways, all right. So you were saying the topic we're going to do today is what?
My bad.
Yeah, I'm throwing it to you, man.
Podcast.
What?
Podcast.
Yes, right. I know you didn't.
You're gonna cut that,
but yeah. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
All right.
This editing thing is hard. But you didn't see me pointing at you, so I gotta. We should turn on a camera or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should do the cameras.
Yeah.
It might help just for us.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, but I don't mind talking at a black screen.
No, I don't either. It's just I've done the same thing where I've done finger quotes and like pointing and shit, and I'm just like, who the fuck am I doing this for? No, it's just me. It's just for me. It's just,
do it for ourselves, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so podcasts. We're gonna talk about podcasts, which we're doing a podcast about podcasts. And do you remember when we were first talking about doing a podcast and we wanted to do the one show called Podcast?
Yeah. I still like that name.
Yeah, and I still want to do it. So if anybody's listening to this, if you steal this, we're gonna be pissed off, and we're gonna take you to court. But I still like the idea. I would like to just do nothing but interview people that do podcasts. I mean, podcasting has come, has grown so much.
Yeah, since Rogan and fucking. What did he used to advertise? Fuck, I had it. Fleshlights.
Yeah. That's right. He did used to do that. Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah.
Since those days,
yeah.
Now we have more options.
Yeah, Rogan was a big part of that.
No, he was a big.
He really grew the podcasting for sure.
Yeah,
but
that's why I chose him to reference, because for one, that's one of my only podcasts that I listen to or have listened to. I've listened to a few, mainly the ones that you've recommended though.
I remember what got me into podcasting really was I always listened to talk radio, even when I was a kid. I know I mentioned before that I used to listen to sports talk radio, and then Rush Limbaugh would come on and I would listen to that. So I've always listened to talk radio, and really, I think it goes back even further than that. My grandmother, when I was a little kid, in elementary school age, she introduced me to the old time radio shows. Do you know what those are?
No, not really.
Essentially,
just follow along.
Basically, what it is before there was television, there was radio.
Oh, okay.
And so they would
Yeah,
do.
actually, I mean, they're still doing that right now because at least like Marvel has a few shows that they're putting out as like podcasts, but it's like that. It's so it's like a weekly episode of like Wolverine or whatever.
Okay.
But it's just people narrating the episode. There's no visual. It's just audio. Right? Is it so? That's what you're talking about. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. All right. But that's what you said your grandmother introduced you to that.
Yeah, my grandma introduced me to those shows, and I used to actually go to sleep listening to Abbott and Costello or The Shadow or Bing Crosby and things like that. There was actually, because I'm from the Bay Area, so we had all sorts of radio stations. And one of the radio stations used to play at night, would play those shows. Yeah, and so I used to listen to them all the time and go to sleep to those. And then, as I got older, I started listening to talk radio stuff when I was in junior high. But then when I started working, when I first started working delivering pizzas, I would listen to talk radio. And I discovered a show, and it was Coast to Coast. Have you ever heard that?
I feel like I might have, but the thing as soon as you said that, I clicked with Space Ghost Coast to Coast, I think.
Yeah.
So that's all that came to my mind as soon as you said that. But,
yeah, it wasn't that, but it was.
No, I know that.
Yeah, but it was Coast to Coast. Basically, was they talked about aliens, they talked about Bigfoot, they talked about ghosts, and they talked.
I probably have heard that because like you're talking about like the talk shows, and I remember like coming home with my dad, and he always listened to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there is a channel that he would listen to. It's a bunch of like either conspiracy theory stuff or Bigfoot, alien, and stuff like that.
There's a channel that he listens to, or was the show?
Mm-hmm. No, channel. Or I don't know. Maybe it's a specific show at a time, but it was a channel that he would have it at.
Okay. Yeah. There was like an AM station.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably Coast to Coast. It came on late at night. Or later in the night, and it was. That was all what it was. That was the first time I heard Alex Jones, and that was the first time I heard about Ron Paul and a bunch of other stuff. Like it was pretty interesting. I heard about this guy was talking about converting your car to run on alcohol, and then you can make your own alcohol and then not have to buy fuel anymore. So just like all that kind of stuff. I love it. Very interested in that. And I hope to at some point in time start another podcast where we talk about that kind of stuff. I'm really into it. I know you say that you're into some conspiracy stuff, and I am too. But I like to talk about things that are, maybe like alternative thought.
Yeah. Or alternative thinking.
Yeah. So I want to think outside the box and like way outside the box. Like I want to go to, the next county over from the box. So, but as far as like podcasting goes, like I when they first started coming out with like internet radio, I was listening to that kind of stuff, and then I really I can't remember like the first one that I actually listened to, but the first one that I can remember really getting into and listening to all the time was actually What the Fuck. And that's
a podcast.
It's a podcast called What the Fuck, and it's Marc Maron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one that he actually did, and then he's like doing for his TV show for a bit when he had a show?
Well, yeah,
it's not like really his podcast on the show, but that's like what his show is based on or whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the show is more about like his life and
yeah.
stuff that and of course it's it's not
just from my understanding, he got picked up because of the podcast.
Yeah,
it like saved his career or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what I remembered, but He's funny. I like Mark Maron.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad he's doing a lot more movies now. That's good.
yeah. I noticed that. Yeah, he is. I mean, the podcast for him. I mean, of course, there's Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's very successful.
Well, no, it's just that I mean, he's got a different, way different personality, and he's like kind of just fucking like old school. But I like the aggressiveness that Mark Maron has towards everything. Like he gets like kind of heated and
Yeah,
angry,
yeah, he does.
like easy. So it's just like I like that. So I don't know.
Well, the thing about Mark Maron, and this is what I like about it, is the same thing that you were saying. But when he first started in comedy, I remember watching him in comedy, and he just seemed like this angry old man, even though he was young.
That's what I was saying. I've seen his thing on Netflix, I think.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah,
yeah.
So,
but see, now it works. Now it works that he's older.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like before he was angry, but he was angry at the world and he was angry at people. And now he's annoyed with the world and kind of angry at himself. And I think really like he's done a lot of like self-reflection, and I think that that's really what has made him become successful. And that podcast, I listened to that one, and that's the first one I can remember really getting into. And then Joe Rogan, and I think the reason why I was wanting to listen to Mark Maron is because at the time, I think it was when we were working at the pizza place together, and that's when I started. I had all this free time, like driving around, and I had a phone to go ahead and listen to stuff. So I think what I really wanted to do is I wanted to hear interviews about old comedians, and I wanted to kind of like get inside the brain of comedians, because I think I was really considering doing stand-up, and I figured I was in an unhappy marriage, so I'd have tons of material, so I thought, yeah, man, and it would get me out of the house. But so I was thinking, like, I want to learn more about comedy and I want to hear it from comedians. So I found his podcast, and he was interviewing all sorts of comedians, and then I just got hooked.
Yeah.
And then of course, he would have guests on, and then that would kind of branch off into other podcasts. And I think that's the reason why I thought like the idea of podcast would be great, because you'd be able to talk to people who do podcasting and people who actually listen to us or listen to them. Like, it just kind of branches. And I think that that's the interesting thing about podcasts, is that when you listen to one and you like the guest, and then they say, oh, well, we've got a podcast, you're like, sweet, I'm going to go over there and check it out. And then if you like it, you're going to stick around, so that's what I like about podcasting and guests and things like that. And we should try to get guests at some point in time, but yeah. But I mean,
we know a few people that would make interesting guests.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know a few podcasters, and then streamers.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all fun to talk to. So,
but do you even remember like what started your?
I was about, because you said something, and then it like I thought of, because I mean I don't know if it's technically considered a podcast, but something I would like watch a lot of and listen to was Getting Dug with High.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's considered a podcast, but I kind of would.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. Like, I know a lot of that YouTube stuff, it kind of
branched into the podcasting.
Well, and then there's Doug Has Movies, or Doug Loves Movies, I think is what it is. That's his podcast that he has. I listen to that too.
I didn't know that one.
Oh, okay.
Because I just watched the Getting Dug with High.
Yeah.
And he had like so many good guests. Like, just that I was just like, what the fuck? I didn't think these people would smoke.
Yeah. What the hell?
And then so like I'm just getting dug with all these people,
Yeah.
So that's and then they like, he'd even say it's just like we're all like smoking together. Even the guests are like smoking a few now. Like that's what it's about. And I'm just like, wow, man, I like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably something that got me into like watching a lot or listening to a lot. and then maybe even like wanting to be like doing something like that, because that's fucking that's a cool concept. Just like getting to know other people, doing something you like, and other people watching it and feeling like they're a part of the conversation or setting as well.
Yeah. Well, when we worked together, I know we would sit there and we would talk to all the other coworkers and stuff all the time, as we're sitting back there in the dish room, and then getting to know people. Like, remember talking to
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
well, besides him, because I think about this guy a lot. What was that one dude's name? That tall guy, really like long hair, really. Never mind. Nathan, right?
Oh yeah, Nathan. Nate dog.
Where dude, I remember one day you told me you saw this guy get out of his car and stare at a squirrel and just go, huh, squirrel, and walk away. And I'm just like I wish I saw that. I wish I saw that.
Yeah, he did that.
Oh, fucking speaking of fucking wish I saw, dude, yesterday I was hanging out at the park with my girlfriend, walking around. We sit down for a second, and we just turn, and there's a bunch of ducks, right? Like cool looking ducks. There's one that looks like a fucking chicken, a cow, and a duck all combined. Wow. And I'm just like, what the fuck? But out of nowhere, fucking straight pimp looking fucking tuxed out guy just comes up, and I'm like, what the fuck's this dude about to do? What the?
Oh, please tell me he feeds the ducks. Go on.
He feeds the fucking ducks, dude. It was the best fucking moment of my life, and I'm like, I wish I had I wish I had that. Like, what? I like my life,
but you wish.
But I want to be in a suit right now feeding the ducks. Like, I don't. What the fuck? And then, because I'm just like sitting thinking, and I mean, me and my girlfriend are laughing about it, talking about it, and then it goes by. He's still doing it. 10, 15 minutes pass by, and this guy with the camera rolls up, and I'm like, it makes fucking sense. He's gonna have a photo shoot with like the water, the animals. That's nice. That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice, but that ruins.
Walk fucking past each other. Walk past each other, and then so my mind is fucking blown again because I'm like, wait a second. Wait, what?
Oh, dude.
So that was like the best time.
Yeah, I love those moments, man. That are just the random crazy shit happens.
Random shit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I don't know. Have we talked about work a lot on this?
No, not really.
But like our at the pizza place, because did I talk about the banana thing?
No, you didn't talk about the banana thing.
I'll have to come up later.
Yeah, but we'll have an episode. We'll have an episode where we talk about work.
Okay, yeah.
All fucking work stories and just work.
Okay, but besides that, because I know I'm gonna forget it, but yesterday I saw like just 2 fucking banana peels on the ground while fucking looking for shit, and I was like, God damn it, I have to tell Doc about this later. Like, yeah, fuck, man.
Yeah, well, we'll get back to that. That'll be a teaser for the next episode. Maybe next episode we'll talk about work, so then that way you won't forget about it. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. Yeah. So okay, so now you said that the Getting Dug with High. What is like the podcast? What podcasts are like you listening to, like currently, or just like, I don't know, the ones that you've listened to the longest time?
I was listening to one that dropped off, like I was telling you earlier. So I won't even that one that I was showing you the music for. I listened to them for a little bit, but then I dropped off on a lot because of I'll just say because of COVID. But they died as well, not physically, just the podcast died. My bad.
Okay,
yeah. So like I stopped listening to them in all.
What was the name of that one again?
That one was Gus and Eddie.
Gus and Eddie. Oh, okay.
They were funny, and I don't know if they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
The one that I'm listening to is the one that you turned me on to, is the Always Sunny podcast, because I think you got me on the show too, but when I watched the show, it was one of the best shows I've ever fucking seen.
No, dude, you were watching it before me.
Was I? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you actually were the one that told me about it. And I was like, yeah, I've seen it. And then, like I thought about it. And then I think we were watching it together. But
yeah, at one point. Because I remember like a few new seasons came out and we were on Netflix. And we were quoting shit together. But yeah. I remember that. Because the fucking burrito, man.
Did you come in my burrito?
No, I want to do that to you. It's fucking such a great show. I love it. So I'm listening to that, like almost either if I'm not in the car for a good ride, I'll listen to it, or if I'm like getting ready for work, I'll put it on YouTube and I'll watch it.
Okay.
I want to start listening to more Joe Rogan because he like I've looked at it and he is having some interesting guests recently. And you even told me about the Graham Hancock.
Oh yeah, Graham Hancock, yeah.
And then there's one for fitness. They just do like a few like maybe 10-minute, 20-minute podcasts.
Is that one just a couple of people like grunting?
Sometimes they have a few
push it. Like, is he working out or is he taking a shit?
This was the shit episode.
I've already listened to this one.
No, that was called the Norse mentality.
Oh, okay.
But they just like, motivational stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
But those are the main ones that I'm listening to right now. If I listen to anything, if I'm listening to anything else, it's mainly music. But
yeah,
we'll have to have a music episode soon too.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, you played, so
I play. Definitely. I'm gonna play again soon.
Yeah,
hopefully. And then I know you have a bunch of different types of music you like.
Yeah, I like a lot of different kinds of music. I know that you're probably not into it, but yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about
showed me some. I like it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah. Like podcasts that I'm listening to, I get into spurts. I was listening to a lot of What the Fuck with Mark Maron. And then when he kind of got too big and started doing more, I don't know, he got to the point where he wasn't interviewing comedians anymore. He was basically just interviewing anybody who was trying to promote a movie. And it was a legitimate talk show, just like, a late night talk show. And I just didn't, it just felt forced, I guess. There was still interesting stories and interesting guests that he had, but I just kind of fell off of that. And then with Joe Rogan, he would, it was just always with him. It was always just, the guests. So if there was a guest that I was interested in listening to, I would check that episode out. So,
yeah. And that's like another, sorry, I was just gonna say that's another reason why I fell off too, because like he wasn't having too many guests that I was like wanting to watch or listen to.
Like I'm not into MMA.
Yeah, exactly.
I like boxing more than I like MMA, and I don't even watch boxing anymore. But when he has his MMA episode, I'm like, oh, I'm good, dude. I don't need to listen to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
or there's the guys that just like, or like they're the fighters, or that Brandon, the guy from The Fighter and the Kid, podcast. If he comes on, I know that's all they're going to talk about. So I'm just like, I'm good on that one. So there's like, if like I remember there was Tony Hawk. I think that was like the last one I listened to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember Tony Hawk popped up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that.
I will have to. There's a few episodes that I listened to recently that I'll show you, and they're pretty good. And then definitely, I do think you should check out that Graham Hancock one.
Oh, yeah. No, since you told me that one, I was wanting to, because I like that guy.
And any episode that he has with Alex Jones, definitely listen to those.
Yes.
They're funny.
Have you seen Tim Pool?
What?
Tim Pool?
Tim Pool?
Yeah.
The comedian?
No, I think he used to be a journalist.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I was thinking of somebody else. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's cool. That was a good one too.
Okay. And he does some stuff with Alex Jones too.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes. And those ones have been good. I guess because that's technically he does the Tim Cast podcast.
Okay.
I was listening to that one, but that was when I was like getting into more of the politics side of everything. And I mean, I killed myself over that, so it's just like fuck any of that. I hate it all. It doesn't matter what side you're on. I hate you. Not really. because I love you.
Yeah.
But don't bring anything up to me because I hate it. And
yeah,
I don't know. We'll fight. It doesn't matter. We'll fight. So so just you don't need to. Like it's fine.
well,
I'll like you. Not you, obviously.
yeah, I know.
I just mean people. It's just like I like people. So it's just like if you want to like me, it's cool. You
Well,
have your political views. You don't need to bring them up. All right, we're good.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about was like, what do we not like in certain podcasts? And that is definitely one thing that I kind of get.
Well, the thing is
over.
I like it. It's just like I got myself over it because it was constant for me. I was staying too up to date with it.
Yeah, it's draining.
All I was focusing on because I was wanting to just be against the system, and that's all I really am in the first place, anyways.
Yeah, punk rock, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that for one thing, everyone that's punk is all fucking for it now. So it's just like
I know
when I'm seeing everyone for it, I'm just like, you're not fucking what you actually are fighting for.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm
so,
like, is Green Day going to be supporting Biden? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You call yourself punk rock? No, fuck that. And then they have, never mind. I can't get started. See, that's the thing, man.
No, so
you get started on it, you're like,
So all right. So besides that, what else do you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do, like you said, I'm into it, but you get so like heated and you get so involved in the political stuff that it just kind of, it drains you, or it just gets your blood boiling. And the thing is that, I voice my opinion about something that I don't like this guy or girl, and this politician. Let me put it that way. So I don't like this politician. Well, then they automatically think that I like the opposing politician. No, I don't. I don't like any of them. So they just keep talking about it. It's like both sides don't seem to understand. And I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of in that kind of area, I feel like there's a lot of closed-mindedness, and it bothers me. Right. Like I just want more debate and more conversation.
Yeah. But it's also like it's just cited. It's just like, because like you haven't seen in the last how many years that no matter what side we choose, they're not for us.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like everybody just puts these blinders on, and they don't, they're only like looking at, they're looking.
It's like, no, well, they say they are.
Yeah. They say a lot of shit. They'll say anything to
it's election year. They say a lot of they got to. What do you mean?
Exactly. I don't know, but as far as like other things for podcasts go, like that I don't like, there's one podcast I do listen to, and I actually like it. I like it's the Distractables, and I know you told me about them, and I'm not really a huge fan of Markiplier, and he's one of the hosts, and I know I don't really like his videos on YouTube, but the thing that I do like about the show is that I like their chemistry. Like, you could tell that the three guys on the show are good friends, and they've been friends for a long time. So I think that's great. And I think that that's a really important thing with a podcast when you're having multiple people, like co-hosting, like me and you work together. We hung out a few times, like outside of work, we've always kind of like talked every now and then, but we're not like, we're not the best of friends. We don't hold hands and skip down the street.
Well, I mean, I'm not post.
I can't skip, man.
No,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah. I'm too fat and out of shape for it. But you'll be picking me up or calling 911. Yeah, my friend, he fell over. I think he broke a hip. He's gasping for air. He's like, why me?
Why did we pick up heavy accents?
What?
I felt like we picked up some heavy accents.
Oh yeah. That's whatever. I mean, in times of distress, all sorts
everything
of things
comes up.
Yeah. It's like in times of distress, I turn into an old British woman. Oh Lord, oh dear Lord. That's terrible. That was bad. I'm gonna cut that out. No, but I like the chemistry, but the thing that I don't like about the Distractables is that they add so many like sound effects, and
Mm.
they add so many like just music and whatever. So they're adding like little parts in, and it, to me, it gives off this like feeling of like, you can tell that they're YouTubers.
Yeah.
And so it feels like they're trying to make it more of like a like an old-timey radio show, I guess. But or more like a show. It's, I don't know, it's kind of, it throws me off, you know. So I don't like it when like podcasts end up adding a bunch of sound effects, because that's a morning show. That's a morning radio. Like, you're like, hey, we gonna have a hot one today, aren't we? And then you have some backgrounds like sizzling sounds of fire, and you're like, woo, you know. That's stupid shit. I like, just talk.
Yeah.
You know, like let the talking carry the podcast. Yeah, I don't like that. I do. I also, another thing I don't like when they have music going through the whole podcast.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah, have you ever heard that?
Like, no, not really, but I could picture it. But I mean,
yeah,
no, thank you.
I feel like you're just boring. That's why you
have to put something behind yourself. I mean, I don't mind like the music, like opening something like in the opening, and then like if you have like, I guess, commercials or something, do like transition music into the commercial and then out, I guess, an outro music. But you don't need stuff like in so much in the talking. And sound effects is a new goof for me. I don't need that.
No, I don't want,
because in fact, like if I'm listening to a podcast in the car, that'd probably freak me out.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Yeah, because they'll add sirens or something like that. I'm like, what the fucker's pulling me over?
I hate that in music. Like,
yeah, like every time I listen to EDM, I'm like, okay, is this a song or am I getting pulled over? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, but yeah, no, those are some things I don't really like in podcasts that I could think of. I really do think it's important that there's some kind of chemistry, like with Your Mom's House. You know, oh, now their name is escaping me. But
Crushers? Huh? Not, wait, what?
Your Mom's House. Yeah, the Seguras. Yeah. They're married, you know?
No, yeah. Well, because it's like I thought Bert Kreischer, but it's Tom Segura and then Christina something. Because they don't have this
Krasinski. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's a P. So I think that's like one.
Yeah.
Closer.
Yeah, Christina P. Christina P. is what she goes by.
Because I know they didn't like share last names, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're also fucking close. That's why I was like, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah. I know, he might as well be married to them.
Yeah. But no, I like that one. But what were you about to say? Like, because how they're married and
just they're married, and the chemistry between the two of them, you know, and they're both comedians, so they're funny as hell. Yeah. And they both have similar like senses of humor. Mm-hmm. I think that Tom is a little darker, but I just feel like it ends up playing so well together, and it's a fun show to listen to. And I don't listen to it all the time. It's kind of like when I want to, because I listen to mostly like conspiracy stuff, and I've been listening to the Occult Rejects, which is it's like two guys that were in like a secret society, and they basically talk about all these like occult symbolism and like all these things that are hidden, like hidden knowledge. And so all these things that are hidden, and they're just kind of like explaining, you know, what's really going on. And so I've been listening to a lot of that, and I listened to the Higher Side Chats. Have you ever?
I think you told me about them.
I did. I think I did tell you about that, and I don't listen to that one all the time. What was that?
I said I need to listen to that one.
Yeah, I don't listen to that one all the time because sometimes the guests, I'm not really like interested in it. But you know, I mean, I just like expanding my horizon. You know, I like expanding my points of view and hearing other points of view, and that's why I think like. That's what I like about certain podcasts, is when they really kind of get you to think differently, or, you know, get knowledge. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've learned from podcasts. I think that that's what's great. Like, I mean, Joe Rogan, and not Joe Rogan himself, but his guests have taught me all sorts of things and had me branch out and buy books and listen to different audiobooks as I'm working. And, and the same thing goes for Higher Side Chats, and the same thing goes for the Occult Rejects. And it's like these things, I mean, fuck, even Alex Jones, like guests that he had on his show, like there's things that I've discovered because of all of that. I think that every once in a while it could be a little too much, and so I have to go like pull back, and that's when I'll start to listen to like the Always Sunny podcast, or listen to Your Mom's House, something funny, the Distractables. That's so when it starts to get like the knowledge and all like the depressing stuff starts to get a little too much, like, okay, now let's talk about some guy coming in his burrito, so let's talk about that, so. But I mean, let me ask you though, like what's some other things like that, like what things in podcasts or in the podcasts that you've listened to that have kind of like, I don't necessarily, they haven't changed your life, but like an impact that they've had, like, that made you think differently, or has there been any podcasts that have kind of made you think about things differently?
Besides like Rogan's, sometimes like you'll have guests that just make me, I mean, think more of what they did and how they're going upon it or whatnot. But also that Norse mentality one.
Yeah.
I don't know, I found them when I just like didn't like too much even about myself or my life, and work and such like that, and it just made me just want to work harder on everything. And I mean, I'm like, not to say like, because I got a promotion and I'm doing something different than what I was at the time. And I like it more. And I mean, so I don't know if it was that it made me change my life or anything, but it did make me want to do it and change. So like I said, I don't know if it was 100% a podcast or Norse mentality themselves. I'd be happy to be like, yeah, it was them. But at the same time, I just knew at that time I wanted to anyways. And I just kind of found like these guys, these buff dudes that like, I mean, I think they're either just in the Norse mythology or maybe they are Norse religious people,
Yeah.
Excuse me, just burp.
That was pretty impressive.
Thank you. So I'm not 100% sure what they lie on, because they don't go like, oh, Odin, like in the middle of everything or something, so it could just be like they really like that theme of everything. And maybe they use that mentality in their life, but they're not really like religious about it. Which is because I like Norse lore, so it's just like that's really also something that struck me. I was just like, oh, they really like it. They probably have merch like that, so I mean, maybe I'll buy it someday. I haven't yet, so but like maybe, like I said, they're just jack dudes that just like, if they, because I think they have videos on YouTube about lifting, but their podcast is just like their podcast, like the motivational talks and whatnot. So like there's multiple layers of like what they could show you, what they'll teach you and such like that, you know what I mean? Because they own the inside, where they do their studio or where they do their podcast is their gym.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that they have their own gym that like I could go if I just think they're in a different state, but if I wanted to, I could probably go work out at the gym.
Oh yeah.
Fucking talk to them and shit like that. So that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
And so, and like they even talk about that because like that was part of their like stuff like they were failing at, is just like getting their gym started, getting their career started with that, their brand, the Norse mentality thing, and then life, because I guess I think one of them was going through a divorce when it started, so he was like, there's many times when he wanted to quit and he was just like, no, I need to push through, especially he has a daughter and shit like that, so he's just like, no, I have to push through for all this, like make it work. So I'm just like, damn, yeah, I need to push through too. I don't have a daughter or anything, but like,
do you have your life?
I have something to live for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's cool, man.
And you, like,
well, yeah, I mean, like you talking about that kind of made me think about when I first started listening to What the Fuck with Mark Maron, it just happened over a long process. I didn't even realize it until I look back, but his opening like monologue, I guess you could say, where he's just kind of talking about his life, it I know that this probably sounds dramatic, but it kind of changed my life. It changed the way I would view people. He did a lot of like looking at himself, and looking within and finding out, his flaws. And he really laid it out for everybody on the show about his struggles of trying to understand people. And the podcast that he did when he talked to all these other people, it was the same thing, like just trying to get to know people and how they work. And it really got me to start doing the same thing. It really got me to start being more accepting of people that I wouldn't be in my past. Like I grew up in a conservative house and religious, so I mean there was always, well, I'll just say it, like, the whole gay thing was something that, was always like a sin and you're going to hell and things like that. So I was closed-minded about that. But then after listening to his podcast and listening to him just trying to figure out people, I started to really try to get to know people and understand that everybody is flawed. Everybody has their problems. And, I don't understand. I don't understand what their problems are because I don't have them, but I can certainly try to understand the best that I can. And I shouldn't be so closed-minded towards things and people, so so it really, like, it opened my mind and my heart up to just people, and it kind of changed everything. And at that time, like, I was in a bad marriage, and and I hated my ex-wife. Now I just dislike her. I mean, there's a reason why she's my ex, but she had and has her problems, and I couldn't understand those things, and it was making me go crazy. But listening to his podcast and trying to like understand the problems that other people have, it really started to get me to realize that, like, the problems that she has are, some of them are her own doing, but at the same time, some of it is just a chemical imbalance, and it'd be best to try to get her help, and I could be more understanding of that. And so it really did change my life, and it's changed everything, like, since then. Like, I've been way more understanding, more compassionate of other people and the struggles that they go through. And so it's not to say that I don't think people are assholes, because they're people still they're still assholes. But at least I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt first. If somebody cuts me off, maybe they're having a bad day. If somebody is rude at a store, then maybe they're having a bad day. But sometimes I'm having a bad day, and they shouldn't piss me off.
No, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, that really did have a huge effect on me. So, but let me ask you this. So far, since we've done 3 episodes, we've recorded a few, and what has been your experience so far with the podcast? Like, how do you feel about it? Like, what are the things that you've been happy about and not happy about so far?
Happy when I'm listening to it. I mean, I'm happy that we're just fucking doing it
finally, right?
Yeah, like we talked about it. We talked about it at the pizza place.
Yeah.
So even, and
that was like, how long ago?
Fucking.
That was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, 6+.
Yeah.
But like, we were talking about it like halfway through like even me working there.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about at least like 8 years then.
Yeah.
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
And then even, I mean, we've been talking about other shit too, but that will come up too.
Yeah.
But so like I'm excited about that. I'm just excited to see where it go. What I'm hating, and I mean, I don't know if I'm doing it today, is like I feel like a lot of time, and I do it everywhere. I just feel like I'm talking with my nose. So and I've expressed that to you, and you said it sounds fine, but I hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm just working on it. It's just something that I just do.
Well, everybody when they
everyone doesn't like how they sound, but
yeah.
To me, it's just like I know it's that though. I know if I just like focus on not doing it a little more or be a little better about it, I know I'm gonna sound a little different. Like today, like in this recording, I feel like I'm gonna sound a little different than the first two. I need to hear the third one. Yeah. But I feel like today it's a better recording for me.
I mean, I can't really hear it when you're talking to me while we're recording, and then after like after all the editing and stuff and hearing it 1,000 times.
But maybe it's just me, but it's also just like that's the complaint I get from just when I talk over like even just on like my stream. I want to say it. Well, not like stream, phone, or at work while I have to be on like the walkie or something.
Oh well, dude, we live in a town with the worst air quality.
I know, but I'm trying. I mean, I'm in my fucking room right now, so
yeah, but that all the air is like seeping in. You're fighting an uphill battle, man. Like the allergies are, terrible in this town. So you're not gonna.
I hate this town. Wait, no, it's music episode.
Just accept. You just accept it, and then we move on. Like that's how we're gonna sound until we leave.
Well, until we episode's gonna be acceptance.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, I'm excited to see where it goes. See the next few recordings after you're finished editing.
Yeah.
What do you what sorry, no, what were you gonna say?
No, it was what were you gonna ask me? Go ahead.
What else did you ask me? Sorry. We got into the breathing.
Oh yeah, the breathing. No, just like what your experience has been like. I mean, and you pretty much answered it. Like I know the things that you like and dislike. Whatever. Talking about voice and stuff like that. I remember I've watched myself like perform on stage. I've listened to myself in recordings. I've never liked my voice, but some people do. I just think that it's some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. And it might turn some people off of the podcast, and it might have other people like
turn people on.
Oh God. Turn people on. Okay, then let's not say that. My wife getting all like butt hurt.
True. Well, what if it's the boys, man? We already checked their analytics. It's all men.
Yeah, that's us. It's just us that are listening to it, man, to check it.
Well, and my friend that I told.
yeah.
Listen, what up, homie?
Yeah, what's up? Our one fan. But like, I nobody likes her voice. They're always weirded out by it. And then after a while, you get comfortable. And that was the other thing too. I feel like the first few were, the first one especially was kind of hard to figure out. But then once we recorded the last one, I felt very comfortable, and I feel comfortable now. And honestly, like I move my hands more now, and I feel like makes it easier to talk.
Yeah.
So it's just, because I normally move my hands when I talk. So
me too.
Yeah. So it's been good. The thing that I really underestimated was the editing process. I really thought that it was going to be easier, and it is not. I'm not using GarageBand, which I'm more familiar with than anything else, but I don't have a Mac. I got a PC, and GarageBand was super easy. I mess around with that a lot. I wish I had it, but now I'm using some other program, and then of course I don't have money to be buying stuff, so it's all the free shit, and it's fine, but it's like I'm just trying to figure it out, and that's been a process. Then also trying to figure out how to upload it and to get it to sound right. And I don't even know what gain is, and I don't even know what some of the other stuff is, so like I'm not inclined in all this technology stuff like we discussed before. I'm still
Tech was the last episode.
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah. So, but I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And so it's been more time consuming than I thought it would be. And which kind of it's gonna lead me to my next question, but I'm hoping that with all of this, with us doing it more and more, that it's going to get more streamlined, and I'll figure out stuff more. Everything will just be easier, which I think it will be. I mean, talking has already become easier, and I don't feel awkward, which is great. But the editing, I hope, will become easier. But that kind of leads me to my next question, and I think this should be the last question. But like, what do you hope is the outcome of us doing a podcast? And real quick though, I do think it's funny that we're doing a podcast like early on about doing podcasts. I do think that we should go ahead and kind of retouch this topic later on in the shows. Like, like a year from now.
Part two.
Yeah, exactly. Electric Boogaloo.
Part two, Electric Boogaloo, the podcast and more.
Yeah. But yeah, what are your hopes for our podcast and just podcasting in general?
To take it full time.
Yeah,
I'd like that. To tell more stories, more personal stories. Because right now I am withholding a lot just because I don't want. Man, I gotta get paid for some of these stories. Like, I'm just being straight up. Like, they're not too, like, it's shit that I don't want out there. Like, in the whole realm of everything, especially fucking family. So if I'm not getting paid for it, I'm not telling a lot of the different stories. Some stories are going to be there because they're still funny. Work stories, friend stories.
Yeah.
But there's deeper stories that aren't getting out there until this is full time and we're getting like paid.
Yeah.
And then also, like, because like we said, even in this one, I'd like to have other podcasts. Even with you and more people. The one where like we just interview podcast hosts, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Like that. In fact, we should fucking bookmark this episode so we start that one. Maybe, I don't know. And then because we already talked about it in a few, I think the conspiracy one.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna do that regardless, and that's fucking great. But stuff like that, and then to even see it, like, because my hopes in this endeavor for entertainment is to also do some type of producing for even if it's just ends up on YouTube. Like, I want to make a few skit shows or actual shows.
Oh, okay.
With you and then some other friends, because I have a few filmography friends that are interested in the ideas too. So
I used to want to do sketches.
Well, we don't. I mean, I'm not saying you have to record anything unless you want to.
Yeah,
and then especially the sketches. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, mainly write.
Yeah,
and you could be the fucking neighbor that you fucking think of Home Improvement. The fucking neighbor that takes us. No one sees you except your head. And you're just like, "What's up, neighbor?" And you're just doing something like that, you know. Give me fucking funny ass advice or something.
Yeah, exactly. You come over to the fence and you're like talking to me. You just see my eyes, and you're like, "Hey, what's up, neighbor?" And then I just whisper, "My dick is out." and then you're like, "Okay." And you turn around and you just leave.
And it's still a reoccurring thing. I still go to you.
Yep. You're like, "What's up, neighbor?" Like,
all my friends are concerned. I'm just making sure he's alive, man.
You've totally forgotten that we had a conversation before. You're like, "Hey, man, I'm going through this struggle in life, and do you have any advice for me?" Whip your dick out. Like, that's it. Like just whip your dick out, you know?
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
so like that'd be great. So like that.
Yeah.
So, but or like for sure, because like I like having because I remember the shit that you've written. It's
Yeah.
fucking funny.
Oh
So,
yeah. Yeah. But
huh? I was
I'm
gonna
kind of
just
I'm with you on all that stuff.
bounce the question back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that stuff. I my hope is that we get listeners, you know, and I don't really care about being
Huge, sure.
huge. Like I don't
I
care about
I
I don't
want
care
to be the
about
next Joe Rogan.
no fuck anybody. Like nobody's gonna be the next Joe Rogan.
I'd
That's
rather,
ridiculous.
yeah, exactly. So I want to be us, me, myself,
Yeah.
and just fucking vibe until we fucking like get people that are like, fuck yeah, we'll pay
The
for
one
this.
the one thing that I think is great
Oh,
about Joe
cool.
Rogan is that because I mean Joe Rogan is a
He just made it more streamlined, man.
well,
Well,
but
like more so. I mean, in my end, because like that was the first big one that I was like listening
yeah,
to, and I was just like, oh shit, like people are actually doing this. Like I thought it was just like fucking people like Rogan, but more famous,
yeah,
getting asked to do or either that or fucking, like us,
yeah.
just like starting to do
I
it
thought it
for
was
fun.
more like us, like people
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
us, like a couple people with microphones and
Yeah.
a computer, and they're just like, I like cars, I like cars too, and then that's it. It's like, remember the time we
I don't
went
really
riding?
like cars. I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, but like I the thing I like about Rogan is that you could tell he's a very curious person and he likes to learn.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really would like to do with one of our podcasts, because I would like to do multiple podcasts. With this one, I think it should always be just us bullshitting,
That's
and
bullshit and having fun.
I would like to do other ones. And the podcast, that'd be great. I think that's a great idea, because I really do think that it's great to listen to a bunch of different ones. Try to find something that you like. And then with the podcast about ghosts and aliens and Bigfoot and things like that, and flat Earth, round Earth, hollow Earth, is space real? Is
triangle,
space...
motherfucker.
Yeah, is the moon a secret Nazi base? Yes. I love all that shit, right? And that's the thing that I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about history being fake, or things like that. Huh?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So
do you know that some countries are like 300 or 200 years like
yes
back still,
yes,
like in the 1800s or something?
Yes, and I can point you to some podcasts that talk about that. So but that's the kind of stuff I want to interview the people who do that research. So I love talking about that stuff, and I don't want to talk about politics. I don't give a fuck about Q. I don't want to talk about any of that at all. I don't want to talk about COVID, because people got their stupid opinions. Yeah. And I don't want to talk about any of that shit. I know what yours is, you know what mine is, but not everybody else needs to know about it, because it's been overdone, you know? So, but like, I do want to talk about a bunch of other things. I do want to talk about like religion, but not in the sense of where you're preaching at somebody, but like kind of like the history of certain religions and the stories that kind of go along with it, and so, I just, that's what I do hope. I really hope that we can have guests at some point that are really going to pique my curiosity in the world and in people. And I hope that we have enough listeners that will give us an opportunity to be able to get those kind of guests that, and even listeners, like have listeners on and, and listen to their stories, so I think that would be great. I would love to do that kind of a thing. And so I do hope that we can have a lot of listeners, but not to the point where I feel like, we're making a bunch of money. I don't care about that. I do hope that at some point in time that all the podcasts that we do would support us financially, so then that we can put more time into it, One thing though, I don't ever want to like beg for money. You ever listen to those podcasts where they're like constantly like begging for money,
Go
begging for
follow
money?
or go to our Patreon.
Yeah, like go to the Patreon, and they're just doing that
I wouldn't
over and
mind if
over and
people
over
are
again.
asking for it, but then it had to be like hella extra, not extra, but like hella exclusive stuffs.
Yeah, and that's the thing I don't like. I don't like the exclusive stuff, you know.
Yeah, that still bugs me because it's just like I don't want to pay too much
Yeah.
for other people's content because it's
There's
just like my view is usually helping you enough. I would think
yeah,
if you're big enough.
yeah,
If you're small enough, I don't mind because like I usually like especially my streamer friends like I sub which is like $5 a month, but
yeah,
they do the same to me. So it's like just reciprocating the love, you know.
yeah.
Um, but that's about it.
I'm not to like hate on anybody who is like offering extra content on behind a paywall. I mean, if they're doing it, then that's fine. I mean, they're putting the time in.
Yeah.
I mean, after doing all the editing, I see how long it takes. You know, they're putting the time in and research and all this stuff to go ahead and offer people entertainment. I'm not against people getting money for what they're doing and asking for it, but don't beg for it. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like sometimes it's just too much, and it's too much begging, not too much money, but too much begging. And like just give me the option, say, hey, we got a Patreon, hey, we got, I got a PO box, send me a check. Not that, but I'm just saying, like, hit me up on PayPal. Like,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say, I mean, the Patreon is just like, or if we ever did that, if we ever got big, we could be, you could say, Patreon, the content's there for 10 days before everyone else or something.
Yeah, and that
So
kind of
like
thing.
you get it first.
Yeah, and that's a cool thing, But
Yeah. So I mean, because I don't, like you said, I don't really like exclusive stuff. It always bugs me.
yeah, but
I mean, I get it. Like you said,
yeah,
there's a lot of extra work that goes into a lot of just this in general. So I mean,
exactly, yeah. So I'm not gonna hate on anybody for doing that, and I'm definitely
yeah,
not gonna hate on anybody who's like got some kind of a podcast where they got like, they're teaching people things, and there's tons of research that's involved, and they're wanting to get some money because like they're trying to make a living at it.
yeah,
I totally get that, and
yeah,
good for you. Go get it, and if the listeners want to go ahead and pay, that's fucking awesome. Like I'm cool. Like I would like to be able to do that at some point in time, either with merch or with with just people donating money. Even if there was like a subscription, whatever. I don't know what the future is going to hold for us.
mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to have a steady stream of listeners before before we go to that. But
Yeah,
I do think that at some point in time we will, and we just got to get our name out there, and hopefully people will like us. And I think that's the other thing too, is I don't want to end up getting too disconnected from the people who are listening to us,
yeah,
the people who do support us. Somebody like Rogan or Marin or even your mom's house or any of that, those podcasts are so huge. It's so hard to stay connected to the fans,
mm-hmm.
and you can't talk to the fan, every single one of them, all the time. But even if you were that big, like I still feel like every once in a while, like you should still interact with the fans because they're the reason why your show exists, and now for us, I think even if we didn't have fans, we'd still be doing this. Like if we only had 100 listeners, like in total,
in the next year or something.
Yeah, I'd still be doing this. Like even if you like took off and you're like, I'm done, dude. I got other shit to do. I'll be like, I'll keep talking to myself. Okay. I do it anyways. I might as well record it. Fuck it. So, but that's what I hope for. I hope for some success as far as just not having to have a job, like have this be a job. That'd be cool. I've always wanted a talk show. So
no, that's before we started this, that's what I was thinking too, is I actually, when I was younger, I wanted to do radio.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah. So I always thought this would be I mean the next best thing, because I don't want to be restricted by what people want me to say.
Yeah, and that's what's great about podcasts is there is no, well, I would say there is no censorship, but that's a lie now.
Yeah, just about.
but
you
that's
still just to
show.
talk about what you want.
Yeah,
that is for a different show that we'll start soon.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be for a different podcast that'll get banned. But
I mean, shit, that podcast should just be Patreon then. If it's gonna be banned.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's what bothers me.
It will get banned.
Probably not though, because we're not going to talk about COVID, and we're not going to talk about shit, man. I don't even know.
We talk about flat Earth though, bro. It might get banned.
What? Okay.
I don't know, man. They don't like the truth getting out there.
Hey, listen, man. You know what? It's not. I don't believe in flat Earth, but I love hearing the people talking about it. Yeah. Just like how I just love it when people are passionate about whatever it is that they're passionate about. And I love hearing that. Cause like for me, I've always just been interested in a little bit. I've been a little bit interested in everything, and just enough for me to kind of have
I just don't knock anything.
Yeah, no.
It's like, dude, like, yeah, NASA says no, it's not, but it's like, I'm not a fucking astronaut. I haven't been to space. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck that shit. You could tell me you're fucking 20 feet tall. I'll be like, all right, whatever the fuck you want, dude. I ain't gonna fucking fight you on that. You're fucking crazy, obviously.
Yeah. You're like, you do.
And then even if you're not fucking crazy, you're 20 feet fucking tall. You're gonna beat my ass.
You do. I identify as a giant.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but is there anything else that you want to say about podcasting and your hopes and dreams of the podcast adventure that we have embarked on?
Nah, let's just keep this shit up.
Yeah. Listeners or no listeners, we're going to keep doing it for a while. So, yeah. You down for that?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Down with it.
All right, man. So I'll let you go. And we'll record again another time.